Hi there, this is Srikanth Dasari. So in this lesson, we are going to discuss about another kind of basic input-output functions, which are gets and puts. Okay, so let me launch the IDE, and I have already created a project here under the name gets and puts. Okay, so let us open that one by clicking on it, and here is a C file which I have already created and written all the basic stuff here, like header files and main function. So gets and puts are the functions which were used to grab a string input from the user. So if you're unfamiliar with what is a string, so let us see what is a string here. A string is nothing but a group of characters. Like you have to define a string like this: char name of 20. Okay, so here we have defined a string of name name. Okay, of which is of type string, which is nothing but group of characters. Okay, so let us mention that here string is a group of characters. Okay, so here if you define a string like this, it indicates that you are allowed to have a group of 20 chars here. Okay, so let us quickly, if you want to input string here, slash and slash t, let's have a message enter the name, since the name of the variable is name here, and let us have our scanf function, which we have discussed in the previous video, which is used to grab some input from the user. Okay, so the format specified for string is going to be %s here. Okay, and ampersand name. Okay, so if you want to print the entered string, you can have a message here in the printf statement. The name is something like this, and again the %c and the name of the variable name. Okay, save and run the program. So it allows you to give the input as a group of characters. I'm going to give my name Srikanth. Okay, so it just prints whatever you have given here. So this is about the data type string. Okay, so there is a problem of using the scanf function for the string data type. Okay, so for example, if you have taken another variable, another string, like every person has a name and address and everything. So when you're writing program, and if you require to grab the address input, so you might take something like this: char address of, let's say, 50. Okay, and you can enter, you can grab the address like this. Let's have a message for understanding purpose. Enter the address. Okay, and scanf %s ampersand address. Okay, again in the same way you can print your whatever the address the user has entered. Okay, the address, so our address is, simply can say a message like this: %s and name of the variable address. Okay, so all this basic stuff. Okay, but there is a problem when you run the program. You understand that problem here, running the program here. So name Srikanth. Okay, an address, you can say something like this: 10 Downing Street, California or New Jersey, something, whatever you want your address. Okay, so if you press enter, you might see a small bug here. That is, it's not allowing or it's not grabbing the input after the spaces here. Okay, so the scanf function, so this is the drawback of the scanf function here. So it just takes or ignores the blanks after whatever it is given as input after the blank space. Okay, so we can solve this problem using our gets. Now our gets and puts functions come into picture here. So if you ignore this scanf function, I have just commented it out and use our gets here and address. Okay, instead of scanf we are using here gets. Okay, so let us add one more thing. When you are using getChar or gets, you need to be very careful of like unwanted input might be grabbed by these functions. So in the previous lesson we have added this function fflush stdin. Okay, it just flushes out the unwanted characters from the user input. Okay, so I have add the gets function here instead of scanf, and just I have saved and running the program here. So now if you enter your name as Srikanth, and again you can have the address as 10 Downing Street or something, whatever you wanted, 10 Downing Street, New Jersey. Okay, so now you get the exact thing whatever you have entered. Okay, so if you observe here, the gets function have solved our problem very cleverly. It just does not ignore whatever we have written after the spaces. Okay, it just winds all the input in the form of a string and gives back to the user or stores permanently in the variable address. Okay, so in the same way you might have the same problem with your name also. If you are saying something to the user like this, enter the full name. Okay, again if you save and run the program here, like you can take a full name, for example Dennis Ritchie. Okay, the inventor, the great personality who invented the C language here, and his address would be something like this: Heavenly Street, since he is no more in this world, Heavenly Street, Galaxy. So again if you observe, it just ignored whatever we have given as input after the blank space. Okay, so again you can solve this problem cleverly by adding our gets function instead of our scanf. So again I have commented out the scanf function and I am just using the gets function and the name here. Okay, so semicolon, save and run the program. Enter the full name, Dennis Ritchie, Heavenly Street, Galaxy. Okay, so get the exact full name with the help of our gets. Okay, in the same way you have puts function. Okay, so instead of using our traditional printf statement, you could also use puts. Okay, puts name. Okay, so let us have a slash in here such that it would not give immediately after the previous printf statement. Puts name, save and run the program. Again you can say something like Srikanth Dasari and 10 Downing Street, whatever you wanted as input. Okay, so again here we have outputted the name using puts. Okay, which is a function similarly gets, not similarly to gets, but gets grabs the input from the user as a string and puts just displays the string whatever you have given. Okay, in the same way you can output your address also using the puts address. Okay, so if you to avoid the confusion, you can say something like this: remove this slash statements and have a printf statement showing the clear difference. /t, the puts function or you can say output from puts function. So output from puts function. Okay, so all these messages are for better readability and understanding purpose. You can run the program. Srikanth Dasari, Andhra Pradesh, India. Srikanth Dasari, Andhra Pradesh and India. Okay, so we have just forgot the new line feed here. So better understanding, and once more let's run the program. Srikanth Dasari, Andhra Pradesh, India. Okay, so that is all about gets and puts functions. Okay, so see you in the next lesson. Bye bye.